Okay. All right. I got a little bit of time. All right, peace, family. I got a little bit of time right now before I gotta head back out soon. But I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my story, Metallum. All right. I'm so excited about this story, and just as much as I am about Black Rebel Soul Child. Okay, so a little bit of background when it comes to Metallum and how it was formed and how it was created. Metallum came to me in a dream. Pardon me. Like I told you guys before, a lot of my stories have come from dreams that I've had. And whenever I have like a really vivid dream, I go and write it down as soon as I possibly can. Otherwise, like I'll forget it. You know what I'm saying? So I did my best to go back and like write down everything that I had from this dream. Now, I can't really remember the what all happened in the dream, but I do remember like the overall theme, if that makes any sense. Okay, so in the dream that I actually had, right, what ended up taking place was people all had superpowers, right? So that means like flight, super speed, super strength, laser eyes, all of the superpowers that you can pretty much think of, and all of the like comic books that you have read or you enjoy or anything like that, right? But it came at a cost. So it came at the cost of a mineral. So let's say like a mineral, random mineral. You could think of like gold, silver, platinum, uh, gemstones. I can never say it's like lapis something. I can't remember the name of it, but think like the gemstone, tiger's eye, quartz, emerald, ruby, sapphires, all of that, right? Each person had a designated mineral that was like tied to their essence, like their being of who they are, their soul, if you will. And each time they used this a superpower, whether they used it in the beginning of the day, it was super strength. They had to lift something heavy, or they needed to go somewhere super fast, so they used super speed, or they needed to go across a super long distance, so they flew, anything like that. But each time that they used said superpower, their body slowly began to become encased in the mineral that was designated to them, right? So let's say my designated uh, mineral was ruby because I'm wearing red, right? Let's say I used super speed this morning, right? And just like my shirt is, I slowly start to become red because my body is now starting to become that the ruby, right? So that was the whole idea of like the theme, right, of the story itself. So I took that from my dream, right, and then I fleshed it out, right? I completely fleshed it out. So I created a world where people do have like superpowers, right? And this is set back in a more like feudal period. So if you think of like swords and shields and castles and stuff like that. All right, Middle Ages, if you will. But I mixed it. I mixed the world with a bit of like the feudal period, so like the medieval times, but also it's mixed with the Industrial Revolution, right? So think of steampunk. For those of you that know what that is, right? If you don't, go look it up. Steampunk. It'll pop right up. There's tons of stuff like associated with steampunk, right? So think of like the feudal period and steampunk kind of like mesh together. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like the backdrop of the time period, right? And so, boom, now I have a world, now I have a theme in this world, and I need to come up with characters, right? And their mineral kind of reflects who they are a bit. So, the main character of Metallum, his name is Darian Voss. Darian Voss, his mineral is steel, right? Then I have the Platinum King. You could only guess what his actual mineral is, right? You have the Platinum King. I can, Aurelian, there we go. There's so many different names. They're all jumbled in my head. Aurelian Valen, right? He's the Platinum King, and he has a daughter, right? And she is Syrian Valen, right? She is also platinum, but here's the catch. Here's the catch. Just because you might have a parent that is platinum and you have a parent that is gold does not mean that you're going to either get platinum or gold. It's completely random, right? What mineral that you're bestowed upon is completely random. Just because you have parents that have a higher class mineral doesn't mean that you're gonna get that mineral. So there's also a caste system in this world. And those of you that know what a caste system is, it is a very hierarchical type of system, and it sucks for those on the lower end of the caste system, right? That's kind of what they're fighting against in this story, right? So it's a caste system that's taking place. You have your different minerals that are at the high, middle, and lower, right? So just to give you guys an idea, because there's tons of minerals out there, right? There's tons of minerals. And now, if you think of your periodic table, right, you can pretty much think of, if you take your periodic table, you can pretty much guess every mineral that might be in this story, right? Except for like the gases, right? Only thing this is nothing but solids in this. And then also there are some volatile, right? There are some very volatile minerals, but they in this world they are solid though. They have to be solid because gases doesn't really work in this world, right? So if you, just to give you guys an idea of like what's on each level, you could think of like platinum and gold being at the top, and you got silver, bronze, and after that ruby, sapphire, steel, quartz, aluminum, tin, and then you think of like rust, right? Anything that's rust, that you could pretty much guess where that's at the bottom, right? So there's levels to this, right? In the words of Meek Mill, there's levels to this. All right, so the whole premise of the story is now what's taking place is the Platinum King, Aurelian Valen. He has used up a lot of his superpowers. So like now he's like encased up to his mouth in platinum, right? And he is about to become encased, right? Now, in this encasement, it's more of a stasis. So you don't die, right? You don't necessarily die, but you get encased in whatever mineral that you are. And depending on how rare your mineral is will determine how long you are encased in this mineral. You feel me? So let's just say platinum and gold. Platinum and gold, I'm throwing out a number. Let's say 200 years, right? You're gonna be encased in platinum for 200 years. You can only guess like the ages and stuff are all over the place in this world, right? So the Platinum King, he's about to go into a stasis of 200 years, which means that there needs to be a new monarch ark set in place. Rightfully so, it will be his daughter, but she is not of age yet. So he has a brother named Valen, who is a gold mineral, who will be the regent until his niece is able to take the throne. All right. Now, there's a power vacuum here, right? There are many different noble families who view the throne as not necessarily weak, but in a very, excuse me, vulnerable position, right? And everybody's vying for power. Everybody wants their family to now be on the throne, right? So you can pretty much guess what's about to happen. There's going to be a lot of backstabbing, a lot of manipulating, a lot of court intrigue, a lot of straight out battles, assassinations, and things of that nature, all taking place because everybody now wants to become the new king or the new queen of this kingdom, right? It is now up to Darian Voss and his allies to kind of set the record straight and kind of calm everything down. Now, Darian, he's steel, so he's kind of in the middle of the road of things, right? And he's part of what we call the Steel Guilds, right? A guild, right? The Steel Guilds. In the Steel Guilds, they are, if you will, the working class of this kingdom. They're kind of like a union based almost. So a lot of like their child rearing and their upbringing and their teachings is very communal. So anyone that's in the Steel Guild, they kind of run the architecture and the behind the scenes of this kingdom in totality. If it wasn't for the Steel Guilds, a lot of the things that are moving and shaking in this kingdom would not be possible, right? So again, Darian Voss is in the middle. He's steel, so he's seen the really good and he has also seen the really bad. And we're gonna be telling his story on him trying to help facilitate all the things that are going on. Now, something that is going on during this time, a lot of cultists, right? A lot of cultists and people who are very religious to the extreme of being a cult. So what's taking place is we have something called the gardens, right? Our gem guard, sometimes they're called the gem gardens or the metal gardens, right? Gem, G-E-M, or metal gardens. This is where a lot of people take their loved ones who are encased and they put them kind of on display, right? Until it's their time to come back from their stasis. Now, this world is very cruel. There are some women who give birth to encased children. So you can have a woman be pregnant and the baby that she now delivers can be a gold baby, right? The baby can be completely gold. The baby is encased in gold. The encasement, the stasis for a gold child is 200 years. It could be very likely that a mother may not get to meet her child, right? So in these metal gardens, the cultists or extremists are stealing children from these gardens. They're either stealing children or flat out newborns or sometimes even adults from these gardens. They believe that the Metallum, the ability, right? So we call it Metallum. We also call the people Metallum. They believe that it can be, they have some cultists who believe it is a curse, right? Because they believe that it's a curse, they are flat out going around and killing people. They break down the encasement of like a baby or an adult. They break it down into dust, right? And this dust can now be used from what we call MD addicts, metal dust addicts. And people who inhale this dust become not only stronger, but they also start to become mentally unstable, right? So it's a very dark world, right? It's very dark, but we're going to be following Darian Voss's journey with him and his allies on trying to stop the cultists and also bring some harmony to the power vacuum that is now taking place within the kingdom. I'm so excited about this story, you guys. I've been working on it for a while now. I have the characters done. I'm writing the first and second chapters as we speak, and I just want more and more people to just engulf themselves in the world of Metallum. I know you guys are really gonna love it just as much as I do. I know you're gonna love the characters just as much as I do. And yeah, we're just gonna take this journey, you guys. This is going to be a graphic novel. It's not going to be a comic book series. So for those of you that don't know the difference, if you think of like episodes on like a Netflix or Amazon or whatever, there are episodes. Think of those as like comic book series. You have episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are like your comic book strips. You have volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, however many they might have. Think of it like that. When you think of like more so like a graphic novel, think of it as the movie, right? You have your comic book series. Those are the episodes, right? Your TV series. Metallum is your graphic novel, which is more of the movie. You get what I'm saying? So that's just a brief, way of like explaining that to you guys. But I have way more to talk about. I'm actually gonna do a little series where I'm talking about each individual characters. You guys are really gonna love it. I'm actually probably going to put those more on the Black Anarchy comics YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that, you guys. But yeah, that's it. I gotta get up out of here. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate the love and support. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace, family.